now in front of us, actually, if you decided to put it on its stern, it would be one of the tallest things in our skyline. So it's huge. It's super tall. So look at that and then compare it to all of those lovely skyscrapers you see. Huge, large ships. And the reason for that is it actually is a huge boast and boost to our economy. Now what's really cool about these ships and the process of intermodal shipping is that it's a very new technology. The reason I say it's a new technology is because we started it in 1950 essentially. So that's still within a lot of our lifetimes here. What happened during this golden age of technology is that we had these huge ships and we had these huge containers, right? Now, a man named Malcolm McLean himself specifically decided that he was really tired of having to spend so much time to offload one of these containers. So what he had is, you see those semi-trucks over there, right? What originally was happening is you essentially had all that cargo on the semi-truck and you had to offload everything that was in the container by hand before you could put it onto the ship. So as you can only imagine, that took about 2 weeks itself just to offload one container. So he decided, hey, maybe I can just, take the container off of my truck and put it on the ship. I think that would be a much more accurate way and much more efficient way to do shipping. So he decided, yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell my trucking company and I'm going to try this idea. Sold his trucking company, and within 15 years, so we're talking in the mid-60s at this point, the UN was actually regulating how large these containers were in order to have efficient and successful shipping throughout the world. So the reason that they're called intermodal shipping is because they are able to go on a semi-truck, or they're able to go on a train, or they're even able to go on a boat. So it only takes them about 90 seconds per container now in order to unload and offload. So imagine that jump in time. So we went from 2 weeks per container to 90 seconds per container. So we have definitely made a jump, and as you can see, it has greatly increased our industry here in not just the Seattle area, but worldwide, because we are now able to really efficiently go and transfer all of these lovely containers. I want to talk to you a little bit more, too, about how these entry crane professionals themselves are able to pick up these containers. So what they do is they look through their glass box. You'll see them kind of more up in the container itself as we make this turn here. And as you do that, you'll notice that the bottom of it is glass. So they have to actually look through the bottom of their glass box there, and they have to be able to pick up those containers super accurately. So you can only imagine how amazing they are at that crane game that you see in your grocery store. And the reason that they do it is so fast, but they only work for about 2-hour periods, is because they can get vertigo up there. So they work 2 hours on and 2 hours off, and then another 2 hours on. Another thing I want to point out to you folks as we make this turn is this building over here, the brick one, with that lovely green eye looking at us, those green eyes I should say, that are looking at us with the American flag on top, and it's kind of like a clock tower. What you see over there, though, is actually the national headquarters for Starbucks. So if you guys were wondering what the Starbucks national headquarters look like, it's that building right on the right-hand side there, the big brick one, the American flag on top. Now that is where they plot their world domination through caffeine addiction. For any of you guys thinking I'm kidding, I just want to give you guys a really close figure of what Starbucks has essentially done to the town. So if you decided to make a 5-mile radius circle around Pier 55, that's where you guys originally had boarded onto our ship or our boat today, what you would see actually is that there's 136 Starbucks locations. Yeah, 136 in a 5-mile radius. And I also want to point out that half of that was water because we circumnavigated it. So just to kind of give you a really good idea of how Starbucks has a grasp on our city, and that doesn't even include kiosks, it doesn't include Tully's, which Starbucks owns, or Seattle's Best Coffee, which Starbucks also owns. So you could say that Seattle is a very well-caffeinated city. We are so well caffeinated that you could call us sleepless here in Seattle. Yes. Anyways, here on the right-hand side of the ship, I want you to focus a little bit further forward of the boat. Because you're going to notice that there's a white ship there. And what that is a part of is the Coast Guard. That is the Coast Guard sector, Puget Sound over there. Not only that, though, the white ship itself is a Hamilton-class high endurance cutter. Now, having said that, what that is essentially the guardian of our waters here. So what they do, and they're the main guys, if you've ever heard of like a naval drug bust or anything along that line, or trying to make sure that people are eating good on the water, it's those guys over there. So if you ever see one of those following you, you definitely want to watch out, because that means you have not been up to anything good. Nonetheless, if you look over on the stern of it, we're going to look at the 717 Melon. You're going to notice that there is a tic-tac structure there. And what that tic-tac structure is actually is a Gatling gun. Now the Gatling gun itself actually has the ability to be able to shoot down anything in front of it or coming towards it. So if you decided that you were going to shoot at the Coast Guard, which wasn't a wise idea within itself, also know that they can shoot you down before your bullets or your missiles or anything will even reach them. Next to the 717, you'll notice the Polar Star there, the number 10 Polar Star, that red boat, or red ship at this point. Now what that is an ice-breaking ship. So as you can only imagine, it's great at starting conversations. Not only that though, it's able to go through the Arctic and the Antarctic and be able to divide ice very easily. So it makes sure that any ships up there that are stuck, they are able to unstick them. Not only that, the people are able to rent them out for scientific explorations as well, so they can go over to the Arctic areas, the Arctic regions, in order to do research. Now behind the Polar Star, you're going to notice that there is a charcoal stadium. Now that charcoal stadium itself is home to Safeco Field, which is home to our Seattle Mariners. Now the Seattle Mariners are our baseball team, for those of you who don't know, and the field itself is also home to what some Seattleites call our midlife crisis. The reason we call it a midlife crisis is because that stadium is actually a convertible. So the roof is able to convert or go over the field within about a 15-minute period. Now, we don't actually need to use it too often, about 15 times a year, ironically enough, but we decided that we were going to do that for our stadium anyways. Not only that, it's actually the most expensive single-use stadium when we had first built it.